Welcome to the Peak Performance and Peak Satisfaction podcast with Master Executive Coach Sherry Gregoff. Sherry helps business people perform better, get rewarded handsomely, and actually enjoy their work. After having her own career turnaround, she now helps other high-powered business professionals experience the same. Join the movement to work differently.
Welcome to the podcast. It's great to have you here. We spend a lot of our waking hours working. It would be a shame if we didn't enjoy that time. We tell ourselves that we don't have a choice. We have to follow the overscheduled calendar in front of us. It's part of the job. That is not true. And in today's episode, I explain why taking back control over how we spend our time is the fastest way to boost our satisfaction and our performance. We can start seeing benefits this week. Let's make the time we invest in our work really count by focusing on the quality of our time spent. When I say making it count, it's over the long term, taking the long view in what is a long game in our career. Before we jump in, I want to shout out one of my clients who had a win in this area. Here's the quote from her. "I realize now that I could have left at 5 p.m. all along. The work that I thought was so critical to advance may now die on the vine with me gone. It's a reminder to me to keep my priorities straight. Compromising them for a somewhat arbitrary business deliverable will never make sense to me again." This client negotiated terms to leave her job of over a decade. She had trained and earned the certification to begin a different career and launch her own business years ago, but hadn't made the leap. Through our coaching together, she found her vision for what she wanted in becoming a business owner, and shortly thereafter got her opportunity to take that very path. When she finally did, she felt puzzled at the blank calendar ahead of her. She felt like she had been institutionalized in corporate, like she was always following someone else's instruction or working to create their vision. She knew she loved the freedom that came with designing her own calendar, and yet she still wasn't sure where to start or how to be effective. In business, we can become very reactive to what is happening around us. Busy work and the seemingly urgent can rush to fill any vacuum in our calendar. We become used to building someone else's dream, such that we are a taker of terms in all regards. We are a taker on the vision, the approach, the measurement of success, the monitoring, the cultural norms and work styles, all being dictated or inherited from the organizational culture. This client and I have worked on setting her own vision for her career and embracing her own autonomy. A great first testing ground to practice this is with the calendar. This lack of autonomy, vision, and familiarity with how to intentionally design our day is so common. As for this client, we set a new routine for her and a protocol to prioritize the most impactful activities in her business, so she couldn't hide out in low-stakes, low-impact busy work. This pull to busy work can sneak in, even if we're self-employed. We spotted it and shifted gears back into choosing the highest impact activities, both inside the business and in interacting with others. This first step towards loving our work more starts with asserting our power over how we spend our time, and the immediate benefits include more impact and more satisfaction per unit of time invested. Similar victories are shared by all of my clients, and I have experienced it too in my own career turnaround. So let's hop to today's podcast content and get you on your way to experiencing this also. I remember getting bristly every time I would hear someone say, "When you love what you do, you won't work a day in your life." It felt so out of reach. We might think we need to find a new career, a new field that we actually enjoy, or that's more fun or more light. Don't overlook how much you can change and influence in your current occupation by changing up how you design your days. Most of us are so busy keeping up with the demands of our jobs and frankly feeling like we are just getting by. We may have tremendous professional success, but we realize our career comes first in our lives, and that's not sustainable or fun. A new client told me this week that he has put his work first ahead of everything else in life for the last 5 years. He knows he could put half the effort in and likely stay steady at his level of seniority and compensation. But still, from the moment he wakes until he goes to sleep, he's answering Slacks and always on. Another new client told me that his business was his top priority for a few years, and now his wife was elevating her career while he took a slower-paced role to take the lead more at home with their family. Even in the lower-stakes role, he finds himself intensely engaged. He knows if he was to found another business, that his old habits were not sustainable. But even in this different environment, he's finding it to be a challenge to manage his time differently. Maybe you can relate. Whether we're aiming to prevent burnout, as in the case of the first client, or trying to build healthier habits to enable us to aim for that stretch goal in our career without letting it dominate our lives, there is one place to start: the calendar. On whichever software you use to capture your daily appointments, you know, the one you point to and say, I just go where it tells me to go. The one that dutifully collects all the meeting requests sent your way and drops them on your schedule. Pay attention to the next time you launch your calendar app on your computer or mobile device. Do you get a shiver down your spine, slouch forward in your chair with shoulders sinking, or maybe your eyes glaze over? I've experienced each of these reactions, and one that made me want to throw the laptop out the window or maybe smash it with a sledgehammer. Now consider what it's like when you check your itinerary while traveling on vacation. Maybe you gaze at the name of the city or the landmark or the adventurous activity you have lined up for that day and time. It may give you butterflies in your stomach, quicken your heart rate, or make you repeat yourself about how much you look forward to and anticipate that experience. Imagine if your daily calendar felt more like the latter example than the former. If each appointment felt like a luxurious allocation of time to an activity that would spark inspiration, curiosity, and be life-giving. I would like to offer to you that it's closer than you think, that your own calendar can evoke a sense of peace, alignment, and even excitement this very week. You don't need a new job, new boss, or for this quarter to be over first. You don't need new team members, more budget, or postponed deadlines either. The answer to this riddle is in you, not in your surroundings. When we take this closer look at how we spend our precious time while working, we start to find pockets of time in our calendar, and then space in our own minds to design and create exactly what we want next in our work and in our life. We decide specific next steps to make progress towards that vision. As soon as we step into action and shift closer to what we want, we get a rush, a high. Taking the lead in your day is such a powerful place to start your own transformation. It's the first step to truly enjoying the time you spend in the office and the time you spend outside the office. It adds up in such a big way. It's like taking back our lives, getting back in the driver's seat, remembering that we are the author of exactly what happens next. It's pushing back against this notion that our career, our days, our quarters, our years, are a foregone conclusion, already baked. It opens back up the possibility for steering our career, our life, in a brand new direction and experiencing everything in a completely new way. This exercise is so exhilarating because we realize just how much agency we truly have in driving not only the results and outcomes that we will see in our lives and in our work, but the day-to-day, hour-by-hour, minute-by-minute experience that we can have as we do it. As in the case of today's client win, the prospect of designing our days can feel unfamiliar and even paralyzing. I've seen this with every one of the business owners and CEOs that I coach. Total autonomy over how they spend their time, the very autonomy that corporate professionals dream of, can be overwhelming and confusing to them when faced with the prospect of a blank calendar. I urge you to embrace whatever autonomy you do have and recognize that even if you are in a large corporate organization, that you have far more power over your time than you likely have claimed to date. Know that everyone and everything around you will take as much of your time as they can get. So this is a little scary and maybe a little cringy, but I often joke how I will have meetings impromptu while in the restroom if I entertain conversations over the stall wall. There can feel like no escape from the demands of others. Consider how special projects, additional responsibilities, or even volunteer opportunities all seem to have a way of blossoming, like a chia pet or a virus. The only way to take the lead in how you spend your time is to push back and hard, to say no, to reschedule to later. As I say this, you might recoil, thinking of letting someone down or changing the expectations of those around you who are used to you being available 24/7. I know, I felt it firsthand myself. Let me explain what's at stake and what is available to you from making these small tweaks. One of my clients is in a pivotal time in his career and in his personal life. He is so capable and so talented. He knows that some of the challenges he's facing are shaping his character, and he knows that in the end, it will all be okay and turn out just fine. But where he experiences the most discomfort is in the everyday small moments, when it feels like a grind. It feels like a battle that he's got to pick up his armor every day and walk into. A busy calendar that others might think impossible. What he is discovering is that our coaching allows him to completely change the experience that he has at every step in his day. I think about it like this. Imagine strapping into a roller coaster ride and thinking you might die while on it. What a miserable ride that would be. I'm pretty sure my boys, when they were young, thought that might be the case and questioned our judgment to even bring them to such a place. Consider now how different the experience is when we know that we are safe and we will be fine at the end of the ride. We may calm down enough to actually enjoy it. Each twist and turn seems more fun, and we relax into it. We survive, of course, and might willingly take another ride even. The ride of our career can be much the same, if we remember that it's not life or death, that our survival is not at stake, no matter the twists and turns. All of a sudden, the entirety of the ride becomes far more enjoyable. We can even enjoy the ups and downs in a way, and feel ready to get back on the ride again. My coaching provides the mindset tools to cultivate the exact experience we want, whether everything is going great or everything is falling apart. When I discovered this tool set for myself is when I experienced my own transformation and then began training as a coach to help others experience the same. This can seem big and feel like a lot to intentionally create the experience you have each day, and it is. I wouldn't do you the disservice of downplaying it. It's been one of the most meaningful times of my life that I would not trade for anything. It shifted how I show up for the people I love the most and for every other human that I come into contact with, no matter where it is that I am. It's a practice, so I'm always learning and finding new ways to inch closer to truly designing my own experience, but I recognize how very far I have come in just a few years. Part of my inspiration for today's podcast episode came from the loss of a very special family member this month. It's such a stark reminder of how very precious the time we have on this earth is. It's our shot to make it count. It goes fast, so of course we want to make it sweet too. The title of this podcast is Peak Performance and Peak Satisfaction for a reason. All work and no play makes for a pretty dismal existence. We want to perform our best in our professional endeavors and personal endeavors, in our careers, and in every other place that we aim to leave a positive impact, like with our families, friends, and communities. And we want to enjoy it, to feel purpose, fulfillment, meaning, contentment, passion, and enjoyment. When our time comes to a close in this life, we want to know that we made it count, that we lived it on purpose, rather than going through the motions, reacting to what's around us, full days without much to show for it. Today, we are taking that transformation that's available to us all, and we're breaking it down to a very specific next step that is simple, doable, and achievable in a very short period of time. Taking back our calendars is taking ownership of where we spend our time and starting to do so with intention. This is the first mini transformation that every business person could use. As you embark on this endeavor, I invite you to consider, which is the biggest culprit for you that is stealing your time and energy at work? For those on my email list, this Monday's email includes a fun quiz to diagnose which calendar personality style you have. Subscribe to my weekly email at the second link in the show notes of this episode to take the quiz. Here are 4 common profiles of calendar personalities and the underlying culprit of each. Look out for the first calendar personality, which is being everything to everyone. This is recognizable because the array of people who have a claim to our calendars is far and wide. We don't want to disappoint or decline, so we make it to that meeting. We offer air cover to every team member. We show up for strength in numbers for our peers. We shadow our leaders to share the burden. We tune in to every information sharing opportunity to be enriched and stay connected. We join every affinity network to do our duty. We take every request to mentor and ask for a career chat. We have frequent one-on-ones to stay in tune with our people and skip levels to stay connected with their people. We attend offsites and conferences. We accept every invitation to speak on a panel or host an event. Why do we do all this, you ask? In this case, to maintain all relationships. We may have an expectation that to be a good colleague, we must be a perfect robot with all the time and energy for them. If we're honest with ourselves, we feel stretched thin. We may show up everywhere, but the burden of being everything to everyone can weigh heavy, so we may not show up our best. We may be exhausted or distracted or resentful for attending a meeting that isn't really the best use of our time or meant for us. How does this get so out of hand? It's our hunt for external validation from our colleagues. We may think our self-worth, our value as a person, comes from other people's perceptions of us. Let's look at the second calendar personality. This one is where everything is important. Since everything is important, we might default to a first-come, first-served policy. Whoever scoops up the time first keeps it. Or maybe it's whoever asks right now is what jumps to the top of our list. Nothing takes precedence. No one is told no for something more important. This trains people to get their time with us and get it soon. To avoid having to wait, push earlier and more often to reserve the time. If we're honest with ourselves, we can feel pretty scattered and overwhelmed as a result. We are always transitioning and reacting to the chronology and timing of those that send us meeting planners. We aren't honing in on what we calculate to be the highest priorities. So what causes this dynamic? It's a belief that to be successful, we have to do it all and right now. The third profile is the one where achievement and productivity equates to our self-worth. By feeling or being busy, we interpret it as being important. We proudly tell everyone we see how very busy we are. It feels like the right way to be, admirable, and valuable. We load up the calendar with what looks like individual votes or accolades or achievements. The degree to which our calendar is filled is concrete and easily observed. So sometimes in these more senior leadership roles, we might yearn for tangible results and output. A busy calendar can fit the bill. We can tell ourselves that a full calendar means we are needed and in demand. If we're honest with ourselves, we know that not all meetings are created equal. If our busy day is filled with time-wasting appointments, we won't feel filled up at the end of the day, but depleted, like we wasted our time and wasted our talent. What's underneath this is a yearning for a concrete measure of our value add. In the absence of completed tasks that might have dominated our days as independent contributors, we may have busyness, including on our calendar. Try to be a poor substitute for a measuring stick of our success. The fourth profile is when we have low trust in our team and others around us, so we can't comfortably delegate or not attend personally. We may not trust others to sort it out without us. The probability of success is low, or it may not be done the way that we would do it, so we step in for others all around us to be the hero. If we're honest with ourselves, we know this ends in martyrdom, which is not a good look when the bigger cause is our ego or a company. There is a reason why we are part of a group and why we have teams. The group is better than the individual. Diverse perspectives, different approaches, unique ideas, skill sets, experiences, and gifts. Cheating the organization, or even us individually, out of all the value that comes from different people involved is foolhardy. What's under this is a lack of faith that the organization can withstand a missed expectation on the way to someone else learning how to rally to be the hero themselves. Did one of these profiles stand out as your calendar personality? Maybe it was a combination of more than one. I have certainly worn all of these hats at different seasons in my career. It's good to be self-aware, to reflect, and see which common culprit is driving your overloaded calendar. Then we know which one needs to be overturned to make your time count and to make it more satisfying. So far today, we have seen real-life stories of how sacrificing all our time for work can backfire. Why the prospect of a calendar by design might feel unfamiliar and disarming. We know it's hard to love what you do and to love your life if you don't love how you spend your days. Common reasons why we may want to take back deciding how we spend our time include burnout prevention, or building healthier habits to enable us to aim for that stretch goal in our career without letting it dominate our lives, or as a business owner or C-suite executive, we are the ones who fill our calendars. We stepped into what it might feel like when glancing ahead in our calendar to have butterflies of excitement and anticipation of what is to come. We recognize that whatever free time in our calendar does exist, that other things will expand to fill that void, whether it's ourselves stretching out how long a task takes, or others happily expanding into that free time. So it's important for us to carefully decide how we fill that free time. How taking the lead in how we spend our time is a natural first mini transformation in making our careers and lives count, and for the daily experience to be sweet. We identified our calendar personality and the associated lurking culprit. With this background and foundational work under your belt, it's time to double-click here and start taking action in your calendar. We are nearly out of time in today's podcast episode, but we continue this work together in my free masterclass taking place on September 30th at 6 p.m. Eastern. Register at the first link in the show notes to join live or to receive the replay. In this masterclass, I will show you how to turn your calendar right side up from where it's been. We do this in 4 steps that you will learn in the class. Part 1 is clearing the calendar. First, we slash and burn. We review what to take off your calendar without burning bridges or sacrificing your performance. Second, we elevate your protocol for accepting and attending meetings so that your calendar is never taken up by meetings with no clear purpose or impact that only serve to grow your frustration. We raise the bar and train those around us on how to access our time. Part 2 is then filling the calendar. The third step, first things first. This is calendar by design. So we schedule our priorities and then we prioritize our schedule. This way, everything we do is with intention and for a reason, so our days aren't random or wasteful. And fourth, we graduate from the never-ending to-do list by giving every priority or task a home in your calendar so that no undone task haunts you. If you are ready to experience more alignment in how you spend your time, enjoy your days more, and at the end of each day, know that it was well spent, laying your head on the pillow, feeling used up, but in the best way, and looking forward to tomorrow, it's time to get this done for you and start seeing the benefits in the days that follow. Register for my free masterclass, and I'll see you inside. Until next time.
Looking for support in applying the principles and strategies in today's episode? Sherry coaches clients one-on-one as their trusted confidant and advisor, helping each client create the work and life they had only dreamed of. To schedule your complimentary career strategy session, go to sherrygregoff.com/apply to book time with her today. It's one simple step that can change everything.